Always got to take that wonderful breath. Greetings, everyone. This is Sister Mama Het coming to you live from the Ewald Circle Village Estates here in Detroit. And with my guest co-host is Evelyn Picard. Greetings, Mama Evelyn. And thank you,
Hey.
Maureen and Queen, for joining us this morning. This is the Grand Rising Elizabeth Show, and this is Wisdom Wednesday here on August 2nd. We are in Leo season, and we are ready for this fire energy. Yes, Mama Evelyn was sharing that she did a full moon ritual last night. And so you want to share about that, Mama? About what you
Oh,
did?
yeah, I participated in a ritual and we had got um some information about the medicine wheel and the elements that we are according to the ending number in your birth year. And it was very, very, and we walked the labyrinth
Mm.
and we just yeah, saw some people I hadn't seen in a while, and it was really nice by the water over there. Very nice area, and yeah, so had a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great, great. Oh, a card. Do you have your cards nearby?
I have some car. I just pulled this
Okay.
out of my mythical goddess tarot.
Okay.
Mm, all right.
Okay.
Since you just pulled it out, I guess we're going to have that.
Yes.
Special,
Well, I
special
pulled it out
because
from
Mama
the
Head
garage.
who always does. And so you pulled that out.
Yeah, I pulled it out because I'm setting up my altar back on this table behind me.
Okay.
Um, Purposely putting it here, so getting it together. So it's very beautiful deck.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Let me see the cover card. The cover. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh wow.
Wow.
Nice.
We said it at the same time.
Uh-huh.
I got these as a gift from Shashada.
Yes, I know Shashada.
Yeah, I I admired them one time, and she said, "Oh, I'll get you some." I'm like, okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's another dear heart. I love Shashada. That's my girl. Beautiful spirit.
Hey, oh, we have Earth, Maiden Beauty.
Yay. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. That's me.
I just want to say, weren't we saying you? Yeah, you were Earth, and who else was?
Jenny.
Oh, okay, okay. Mm-hmm. There was a
Yeah.
third one.
That's an
Who
earth
was
sign.
that third?
Capricorn. Oh, Mama Evelyn. Right, because
Yeah.
she's a
Oh,
Capricorn.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so the three, yep. Her and Jenny are both cats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Capricorn.
Okay, let me see. How does this go? Hmm.
That's my toe. That's my toe. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
know.
Let's see.
Oh boy, they want to lick. I guess that means thank you, my love.
Mama Evelyn, what are you doing?
She's
I am
looking for
looking for the meeting because
Oh,
this is very straightforward.
oh,
Yeah, I have, I have one like that. My black tarot. I keep telling myself, put your sticky tabs so you'll know, because they have that book in a specific way. It goes the family, you do your major arcana, then the family court, and then the number cards. And so that's three different
Okay.
sections. I keep telling myself I love those little tabs with the stickies on them. And I keep, I'll say that, but I don't go actually do it. I need to do more and say less. Say less. Say less.
This is weird.
So do you have to go? Do they have the? Oh, Maureen says she Virgo. She's a Virgo Earth sign too. Let's see. Can only listen driving, then brushing cat's teeth. Yes. Okay, thank you. She's listening. She's busy. Maureen says she's busy, but she's here. Okay, busy.
Okay.
Yes, Maureen says she's a Virgo. So we got all three of the earth energy. Fixed, what is it? Fixed,
Huh.
mutable.
This is, oh my
Got
goodness.
it.
All right. Found it. Yeah. Okay. So it goes by, okay, I see. Um, yeah. Maiden of Earth, Beauty, Capricorn.
No.
I'm a Capricorn. Okay. Let me get my glasses on. Let me not pretend I can just see these just really clearly like I used to. Let's see. Here we go. The exquisite maiden of earth sits in a lush garden of full harvest, radiantly at peace in her element. She is sacred form, embodying beauty, health, and wholeness, at home in the world. She cares for herself and others with intuitive wisdom, living in harmony with nature. All of her life responds to her purity and radiates frustration and beauty back to her. She exemplifies oneness with the natural world and the ease and joy of being in cooperation with nature. The Maiden of Earth is here to encourage you to embrace your beauty and your feelings. Honor your body's wisdom and know that you are one with Mother Nature in all of her facets. She reminds you that your true beauty shines forth as you are in harmony with the natural world and life force. Find your earthly intuitive center and move through your world as this earth maiden does, with beauty and inner wisdom. Okay. Alrighty. Okie dokie.
Sounds like alignment is going on here. I love it. It just
Yes,
always works
yes.
out. It just really does. It does. It does. So yeah, what is the jade? Or did anybody want to talk about the reading that we just
It was
had?
just a coincidence that it's that Capricorn.
I mean, I love it. And again, our days just seem to naturally flow from one day to the next, Monday and Tuesday and then today. I can't. I really feel like I've told you all several, and I'm going to continue to say this, that, doing this, sometimes I'm like, I might need to step aside. And then when I think I'm time, then I rev back up and get, but doing this daily has been such a therapeutic experience for me. I can't, especially when we were a little bit more restrained in our dealing with one another. A lot of my ciphers have, because children, people have younger children, and so we can't get together like we used to. So I'm missing my spiritual group, and then one of my other groups that one just totally has disbarred, because people are living in different places now.
Yeah.
can still get together like this, but this group's consistency and the bonding that we have, because I feel like us connecting is helping us learn about parts of ourselves that we need to dive deeper into, and looking, at our different modalities, if you will, our different personalities, our different energies. I did, when I met Hetheru and he did my natal chart, I drew a picture of myself. I sketched it out, and I assigned, I assigned my various signs to the different body parts. So I drew this, I sketched her out, and each, the Taurus is the neck, and Cancer is the chest. So I just went through and labeled the body parts of, how the signs affect the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I also went back through and gave my nicknames. Like I have Andrea, Andy, and Angie are my twins. Hetheru is the Taurus. The Virgo is Hathor. My Gemini or my Scorpio is Hecate and Elizabeth. So I went through and just gave the different names of that I have. And just did a sketch of myself. I thought that was a challenge. But so just in getting to know those energies that are within, people would read the horoscope and say, well, that ain't me, or you feel a little bit but not. But once you do your natal chart and dive into the different ways you're affected by the moon and the sun, and that, the planets moving around and interacting with the um the zodiac signs, if you will, all that energy is different. And if we understand the planetary movement and what those energies are, it'll help you navigate. Because I kept saying, well, if you believe in God, why are you studying the stars? And he said, well, who made the stars? I was like, oh, yeah. I was done with that conversation.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Mama.
but all of the right, so all of these energies have an interaction with each body part. The neck is the Taurus, chest is Cancer, the intestines and bowels are the Virgo, Gemini is hands, Pisces feet, Sagittarius thighs. If I forgot somebody, just
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Oh, now that one I don't know. But I can look on we did our talk on I think I did a Tuesday talk, and we did the assignment of the I'll come back to that. I got to go back and see what Aquarius is. I'll do that in my travels. So yes, but just learning how we are affected, and it works really good with classrooms. When you put, if maybe you could set up the children in different ways. You could set up your students by, earth, fire, water, and air. You can make groups like that and assign them seats like that, or put all the earth signs together. Put all the Aquarians together, and then all the, But I know when we did this one team breaker, we could not talk, and we had to fix our calendar. You had to find your sign, your day. You had to get in day order, numerical order. You had to find your day order and also your month order. And it was so funny because the Pisces people were always the bossy ones and kind of got everything started, which I love that. I call those the leaders of the group. Hold on one minute. You have to let him know I feel protected, so he'll chill out. I feel protected. Thank you. So, so as we talk about the woman who's laying in the grass in the card and being of earth and just being conscious of the earth and her body, we'll dive into the jade egg. So the jade egg is one of the greatest tools we can use to enhance our sensual life is the jade egg. And it is a piece of natural jade, nephrite or jadeite, that is carved into the shape of an egg and drilled from the top to bottom. Now they have some eggs that have a drill through the center. And they also have some eggs that they started making drill through the top now. And so that is so that you can put a piece of string on it, because some people feel like, they can't get the egg out, so they use maybe a piece of dental floss or some type of string that's not porous, that won't aggravate your yoni, and use that so when they're ready to pull it out. Like I said, some people they kind of think that the egg will get lost. I mean, there are pockets inside of us where you can go, but it won't it won't go anywhere other than that. It's not able to. It's not going to come out your finger or get stuck in your elbow. But so, and also you can use the strings when you tie them. You can use them for weight training, where you are letting one egg is inside and the other one is attached, and you can learn how to do your weight lifting and moving it up and down inside of your body. We'll get to that, Queen. So, huh? This is amazing.
Wow.
I guess
So,
it's like imagining, okay, Miss
yeah.
Wait.
And really, it's really funny because when I would wear my eggs, I don't feel them when they're inside. I really don't feel. I've not had any small ones, but using the large and the medium eggs, I didn't really feel them inside. So I didn't feel like I was doing the exercise until I told you all I was sitting tilted and it almost came out. And then I began to just work the muscles, squeezing and releasing. And that's what I talk about in our breathing, in our diaphragmatic breathing. I say when you inhale, also open up and push down in your core, and then when you exhale, you squeeze and pull up. But naturally that happens. If you're breathing, it naturally does happen that you open up. When you inhale, it tightens up. But is that because I've been doing a diaphragmatic breathing and being more conscious of it, or does it naturally happen? Even sitting out with your legs extended and doing your feet like this, that exercises your yoni. Just doing this. Put your legs out and let your feet go right and left. You got to be sitting, long leg with your legs down. And it works the yoni muscle. They tell you when you're 2 weeks, once you get so pregnant, they tell you don't drive anymore. Driving is all ab work. You don't think about that. That's your abs. Because you got to pick that leg up to stop and go, press, point and flex the foot, and then you lift that leg to go from brake to gas, or if you're driving a stick, that's all ab work. Driving a stick,
Oh
shifting that
goodness.
clutch.
Oh, Cicely was there yesterday, and she's due on the 5th.
Uh-huh.
She says the 8th, and
Right.
I say have it on the 10th so she can be birthday buddies with Sheena
Uh-huh.
because it's a girl.
Hey, all she got to do is talk to her. If she ready, if she finished making elbows and ankles and things, the baby will come. That's for sure. Or eat a good meal. If you eat a good home cooked meal, that baby come out. I'm telling you, that's what happened to Isis. So yes, so jade is considered the health, wealth, and longevity stone, and it is used for increasing our courage, wisdom, emotional balance, stamina, love, humility, generosity, peace, and harmony. Jade is known as being androgynous, therefore is considered to have gentle, steady pulse of healing energy and helps us rid ourselves of negative thoughts and negative energy. It is beneficial to our heart in both physical and spiritual sense, and very protective stone, keeping us as a wearer out of harm's way. Green jade is the most common of all jade and is particularly calming for our nervous system, helping us channel our passions in a constructive way, making our expressions of love easier. So that stone there um, is, you know, think of all the benefits and how, especially what we have to deal with as humans on the earth. We have, your nerves are shot because of, remember when they kept doing I remember when they kept lighting fireworks like every night when COVID was, it was like they put that together. We're going to blow fireworks while we're in this COVID thing. Every single night from 8 to 3, 4 something in the morning. I was like, what is going on? So that your nervous system is like wrecked because you're constantly hearing this noise, and then desensitizing you to hearing sounds. Now you probably don't even jump as much when you hear them. All that action and how where our bodies are affected by what's going on, especially not being able to see your family or having to lay a family member to rest and you can't even be present for it. enough already that you had to say goodbye to somebody you couldn't even say goodbye to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so how we're um and that's why I think the stones are very important, because when you have them and you see them, you say, okay, I'm working on X, Y, and Z, or I have these with me. And eventually you get to a point where I know with the jade, let me think about the jade egg, the jade stones benefits, and let me remember that. And so you carry that energy with you, even though you don't have those stones. You know, even when, like Mama was saying, Mama Abana. No. Mama. Uh, our Wednesday mama with Mama Howard.
Ayaba.
Yes.
Mama Ayaba?
My Ayaba would say that she would take her altar with her when she went places.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was talking about when I was saying I wear my mojo bag. It is a little mojo bag. I'm not calling it little. Um, so they also said the practices has its root, and a wonderful myth exists that describes the jade as being a solidified semen of dragons. According to the myth, jade is seen as a pure form of yang qi. When we place it in the most yin part of our body, it's thought to create a harmonious balance of the yin and yang energy with us. And it is an ideal tool as one of the harder crystals and will not break easily if boiled or dropped. After we sensual women have used jade for many years, we may then choose to upgrade to an obsidian, then to rose quartz, and some of us may not follow this belief and may choose to only use the egg we please. And trusted women know what's best for themselves and can share the personal experiences that help them with the practices. So we've had women share that they're, you know, parts of our body that we don't exercise, that we don't consciously say, okay, let's do our womb work. Do you all have ciphers that talk about doing womb work? Have you all talked about doing yoni exercises in your ciphers as sisters?
Are you talking
Mm-mm.
to all of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
No.
no,
Mm.
So
no. This is the
a
first
lot of,
time.
hmm I mean, those are, back in the day, a couple generations ago, what, you want to talk about the what? We don't even say the word. You want to talk about your vagina, your vaginal area, your pelvic region, that's something that we need to be talking about. It's affected. It can get disease in it. That's a place where we hold most of our, besides our shoulders and our back. That's the number one place that we hold, whatever we going through. We hold there and hold like this and wonder why we have all these challenges when we're not exercising these muscles or using these or talking about these special sacred places that we hold.
Mm.
So the exercise of our womb space and our cervical neck, do you know you have a cervical neck? Have we ever had a have we ever had lessons in school talking about our body parts? You telling children to be abstinent, but you're not even telling them about, are you teaching them about their body parts and how they're made? Our mothers talking to daughters about how these bodies are made and why we cycle and all these things, and what happens to our breasts when we're cycling. We don't have these conversations. So I really, this is something that was really important to me, especially doing these jade egg practices. And then I have a daughter, so I'm teaching Isis as I go, because she right there. You go to the restroom and everybody, the dog, everybody got to come in the bathroom. Teach them not to, but since you're in here, we may as well have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So women have talked about um, helping be preventative for uterine cancer, um, helping with menopause and those challenges that go on. Also helping with dryness. The eggs will help, activating those muscles, help the secretions happen if there isn't any other underlying problems that are going on.
Mm.
I'm helping reduce the strain and challenges from cramps, even though I feel like cramps are torn relationships with the feminine in your family. I really believe that the severity of cramps is one of the challenges because of the relationships with women in the family.
So why do you think that?
Well, I've had conversations with two different sisters, and hadn't even met these women. This was online. I guess I think it happened because I started using the egg. This just came to me. I asked them, I said, what is your relationship like with your mother? And they, oh, nah, first, I mean, they really got laughed that I could just tell in their tone when they're typing that it was an issue. They was like, no, I don't have a relationship with my mother. It's bad or whatever. I said, once you heal that, those cramps they won't be as severe. And two of the young ladies that I met online, they told me that they did have that talk and they weren't as severe as they were before. It just because it's the I don't even know where this came from. It was put it was downloaded.
Mm-hmm.
It was downloaded. And then also because we are in denial. Some women, we don't want to deal with. We get angry. Oh, it's time for that negativity that we get because your cycle is on. I've gotten to a point where I started saying, thank you that my body is working properly.
Mm-hmm.
And also that, this is how a baby, this menstruation is what grows a baby, because the blood then goes into the child. So just looking at it a different way, because it can be painful. It can be a, something that is a burden, because now we have to wear these sanitary napkins, and oh my God, you the whole time, is it showing? Is it showing? And when you learn how your body, how that cavity is made with that, it's almost like a cylinder. And so when you learn that elders used to wear cups, and you see that your body fit with, it's like an opening like this, just the part where you're caved out, where the thighs and the hips are, that curvature, it's just amazing once you truly get to know your body and learn how it's made and how it's accepting of putting something there to help catch the cycle. They used to use rags and I think brass cups, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
And then there were belts, the little belts, like they put the stockings together with the little rubber, the device, how the closer was to hold the belts together. You had to wear the belt and put the pad on with the long straps, And then we moved to the adhesive that sticks in your underwear. And then now we started having cups to catch the menstruation, or sponges, natural sea sponges. So just the way the body was made, and how we be worried about, things that we don't have to be concerned with, but making sure that we learn and understand why our bodies do what they do and how they're doing these things. So once we learn about the jade egg and putting it in and using it for its healing abilities, people who have had trauma have had an awakening using the eggs, or not feeling good enough. Sometimes when you don't feel good enough about something, it's because you're not aware of it. So increasing awareness and learning about your space, your womb space, and that you have a cervical neck. Just like when Mama Rhonda gave us all the information about the yoni and how it's set up and how we're tilted. Women, we're made differently. So when I was using the cup, it was hard for me to understand how to position it, because we're tilted. Some go in and some go back. We're made in different ways, even though we have these similar body parts. So the egg, the joy of the dexterity. On the physical side, the jade egg is an excellent tool for exercising your vagina and pelvic muscles. By moving the jade egg, we develop our strength and suppleness, and you're able to increase your sensitivity to sensation and pleasure. Now, one of benefits of having elongated, your orgasms are more intense and elongated. I've had what I describe mine as being roller coasters, where it almost feels like if you've had a child, when you have contractions. You feel them coming, but you never feel them go away. It's like another one's coming right away when you're having that pain. And the contractions are what's going to happen. It's the energy that intensifies to push the baby out eventually when it's time. But that intense feeling, but the orgasm just seemed to spin around, and you could just feel another one happening as you're already in, having one going on. It's like another one comes. And this is either self pleasure or with a partner. And it's so much space inside the yoni. It's so much space inside the yoni that you have no idea. The room that is in there. You can hold a baby inside of the womb space. So it just really is really mind-boggling that you have all this room inside there, or the thought of putting 2 eggs in as opposed to 1. And how is that possible? So they also help with your secretions. Some women are have dry, after you experience menopause, sometimes there's a vaginal dryness that happens. The yoni egg could help with that. You can wet them, or you can put them in. You have to test, because you have to make sure that the oils are okay with your body as well. But your lubricants, like I said, I like the coconut oil. I'm not allergic to it, and it's also an antioxidant. That the coconut oil is preventative for bacteria. So that's another reason why I like the coconut oil. And then it helps.
You mentioned that of something about 9 o'clock, and it's 1 minute till. I don't know if you had to.
Yeah, Mama Neb hasn't said anything, so I'm just going with the flow.
Okay.
She hasn't even responded, so
I have the video ready whenever you are.
Okay. All right, we can go ahead and put that on, because Makeda, she speaks about that. I sent it in the link because you seem to have better. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mama Hetheru.
Hey, Deetra, how you doing, baby?
Hi.
Glad to see you.
Thank you for sharing what you did. Thank you. That was enlightening.
You're welcome. So this is who taught me, and she learned from the woman who made this book originally. She trained with Sayeda. This is Makeda Valletta.
Hold on, let me.
Thank you so much for doing this, Mom. I appreciate you being my extended hand.
Your bill will be in the mail.
Hey, I'm on paint committee. I'm on the paint committee.
Right. Okay, do that. And now, okay, let me stop share. Let me start share so I can hit that sound.
Page, _. Hello everyone, how are you? My name is Makeda Valletta, also known as the Body Scientist, and I am currently live on my IG page, _body_scientist, and I will be recording this video and reposting it to my YouTube page, The Body Scientist 81. In case you are unfamiliar with me, I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition science, both on an undergraduate and a graduate level. I am a certified strength and conditioning coach. I'm a sports nutritionist. I'm also a birth worker and a student of the dances of the African diaspora, okay? And I've committed my life to studying all the ways that we can take our body to its highest level, okay? Also, there are differences between men and women, and I have a special passion for women and women's health, although I also work with men just as much, but most of the research is done on men. And with women, the fact that we have a whole other doctor for our reproductive organs says a lot. We have the uterus, and a lot comes with that. And so today, I want to talk about my work with Nani eggs. Some people know them as yoni eggs or jade eggs. I started working with them in 2005, and I started teaching women in 2007. I started teaching a class called Sensual Strength Training, okay? And my class, Sensual Strength Training, that I started teaching in 2007, started teaching it in New York City, but I've taught workshops in Chicago, and Atlanta, and Oakland, and LA, in Miami, taught women in Costa Rica. I've taught workshops a lot in Detroit, DC, Baltimore. I've taught workshops a lot of places, right? And I've learned so much from teaching women. I remember in 2000, whatever happened to me between 2005 and 2007, I felt like was so great that I had to teach other women. And at that time, I just worked with the eggs on and off very briefly. Like I wasn't doing exercises like what I teach women now. I just put it in, wear it for a couple days. I might forget about it for a couple weeks, put it back in. So it was like inconsistent, but on and off for 2 years. And what I did notice was that my menstrual cycles became lighter. I never had like a horrible, they were kind of heavy, okay? And my mother had a full hysterectomy in 1999. And I remember seeing that and not wanting to go through that. So many black women have really bad fibroids, okay? And there's something else that I also know a lot about and will do some videos on in the future. But a lot of Afro-American women have really bad fibroids, and that can lead to really painful and heavy menstrual cycles. That's why my mom ended up having a hysterectomy. So I know that for me, my cycles became lighter. I remember my orgasms became more intense, even though I didn't have a problem with orgasms to begin with. But because of my background in exercise and sports science, I thought, oh yeah, like with all muscles, you want to strengthen them, okay? And then my background in dance makes me understand the importance of muscle control. It's not just about strong muscles, but it's also about having fluid muscles that have elasticity and a little bit of flexibility and control, rhythmic control, right? So the eggs made sense to me. 2007, I started teaching women, and from that point on, I learned a lot just from all the different things. The eggs, if you don't know about them, I'll show you one. This is a rose quartz one, okay? And in case you're unfamiliar, women work with them vaginally. There are other ways to work with them as well, because I have had clients that have had really bad sexual trauma, and I've noticed that the women that have a hard time putting the eggs inside of them, a lot of times it's really bad sexual trauma there, okay? And it's really important to work on dissolving that. I feel like working with the eggs is one of the most effective way that I've come across. And so much so that I'm thinking about developing a class specifically for women with sexual trauma. Even though my other classes, I feel like, still help women with sexual trauma, but I'm thinking of doing a class that targets that, okay? When I went through my doula training in 2010, I remember my teacher told us to read a book called When Survivors Give Birth. And she talked about how women with sexual trauma often have problems opening up in labor, okay? And I remember at the time, this is 2010, so at this point I had been teaching my class for 3 years, and I had been working with egg for 5 years. And I knew that it could help women with childbirth, with preparing for and recovering from, but I was thinking about it from strictly a strength standpoint. Like, childbirth is like, going into a football game. You don't go into a college football game without ever having gone to the weight room or going to practice and training. If you just got up off the sofa, never went to the gym, never went to the weight room, and just went into a football game, you probably way more likely to get hurt and have a lot harder time recovering than somebody who prepared for it and is in better shape. Same thing is true with childbirth, okay? And I noticed as a young trainer, when I was like 20, 21, and I'm working at Equinox in New York City, and I had clients, female clients who had been college athletes, and they all talked about how easy birth was and how easily they recovered. So I noticed then that, being in good shape really does help. But when I went through my doula training, I learned about women with sexual trauma, how they often have problems opening up in childbirth, which can then lead to, C-sections and I've thought, oh my gosh, like this egg work, there's another way that these eggs help women in childbirth, is that if a woman has sexual trauma, which a lot of women do, unfortunately, if she starts to dissolve that before she gets pregnant and brings life into this world, then it's another way it helps prepare a woman for childbirth. Somebody said the day before the baby was due, they were told they had to have a C-section because he was breached. That's another thing I want to talk about. There's so many. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on women in pregnancy, because there's a lot of all of that. The breech babies, the C-sections, all of that's unnecessary. Old school midwives and doctors knew how to turn breech babies or deliver breech babies, okay? And the due dates are not even accurate. They're a guess. Only like 3% of babies are born on their due date. That's the problem with the medical industry. And I could go into a whole other thing with that, and I will in another video. I hope that pregnancy turned out okay, though. I have had clients who have had C-sections, and then they got pregnant again, and they wanted to have a vaginal birth. In this country, they try to make it illegal, okay? Like, if you've had a C-section, then you have to keep having C-sections. I actually was listening to an interview that Little Mo was doing, and she said that she had 5 C-sections. 5, okay? That's really crazy and really dangerous and can damn near kill a woman, because 1 C-section is a major surgery. 2 is like, whoa. When you start getting 3, 4, 5, it can definitely end up taking your life, okay? And cause a lot of damage. And there's a lot that I've also learned about recovering from C-sections. I don't know, those of you who follow me, if you know, there's a woman that I studied with in Long Beach, California, named Pankazani, also known as Indigimama. You can find her on YouTube and Instagram, and I highly recommend that you do. I don't know anybody who is as knowledgeable as her with the things that she does. She's a legit herbalist, okay, because true herbalists can communicate with plants. You can't just learn it from books. It's ancestral knowledge, and it's also, you know, part being able to communicate with plants, okay? She's definitely that. She's also what I call a womb chiropractor, okay? So she practices womb massage for Mesoamerican traditions, where, you know, making sure a woman's uterus is perfectly centered, because a lot of women have uteruses that are tilted to the left or tilted to the right or tilted back. And doctors have always said that that's normal, but it's not normal. It's not okay. Okay, there's a lot of health consequences that can happen to women whose uterus is not perfectly centered, and I have a video about that on this page. I will try to post it below. You need help with the diastasis recovery. I will also do a video on that as well. These are good things. And so, and studying with her, I learned a lot about recovering from C-sections, because C-sections can cause a lot of scar tissue, and that scar tissue can cause your internal organs internal organs to be pulled towards the scar tissue. Yes, okay, I see your comments. Okay. So somebody's writing about how the C-section went well, but they were traumatized, but they're happy that they have a healthy baby. Yes, that's many women. Many women are traumatized by childbirth, and childbirth trauma is akin to rape trauma, okay? There actually were women calling rape hotlines who had childbirth trauma, and it can be similar. And then you have women who have both. How horrible is that, okay? And a lot of it is unnecessary. And these are all things that that I've been studying for years, observing for years, working with women, studying why this is, and I have a lot to say about it, and I will in the upcoming weeks. I will say that, definitely if you have had C-sections and, misplaced uteruses, I highly suggest checking out the work of Pankazani and Digimama. Unfortunately, because of COVID, she's not doing in-person classes right now, but she does have online classes. It's not as good as working with her in person. I've worked with her. I've taken her classes many times. I've assisted her with clients. I don't know anybody like her, but I highly suggest studying with her. So, but the clients that I've had C-sections that wanted to have a VBAC, which is a vaginal birth after cesarean, it's like illegal in some states, okay? They tell women, no, once you've had a C-section, you have to keep having C-sections. And I have had a couple of clients who had successful vaginal births after C-sections. They were working with eggs. One of them, remember she told me, I don't know, she's probably had 5 or 6 kids by now. But I remember her telling me, yes, in Digimama, I'll write it below in this video. I remember her telling me that, you know, her own father told her, her own dad told her that the reason why she was having C-sections was because she had issues opening up. Now, that is the issue with some women. There's a lot of different reasons. Some women have C-sections that's totally unnecessary. Sometimes it's because of what the hospital has done. When you give birth in a hospital, they're constantly sticking their fingers inside, trying to check your cervix. There's really no reason for that. And if a woman who doesn't have sexual trauma can be uncomfortable and close up. But if you are a woman who does have sexual trauma, that's super triggering, okay? And, you know, I have a lot to say about that. But, you know, working eggs in general have the shape of an egg. You know, just like whether it's a chicken egg, a stone egg, eggs in general absorb negative energy and transform the negative energy into positive. Okay, transforms it. Eggs are transformation symbols. Easter is coming up on Sunday. Easter is a celebration of the goddess Ishtar, Oestre. Oestre sounds like estrogen, right? Eggs are the symbol for Easter, and eggs symbolize rebirth, transformation. Okay, they're goddess symbols all day. Also, the rabbit is associated with Easter. And what do rabbits do? They have sex and reproduce like crazy. I have a lot of cute little bunny rabbits hopping around my neighborhood in Chicago. They're so cute. I love them. But all they do is reproduce. And they're fertility symbols. Easter is a celebration of the spring equinox, the fertility of the land. And, you know, in pagan traditions, earth-based traditions, people celebrated that with also sex, okay? So a lot of times there were orgies around this time. Do your research, check it out. It has nothing to do with Jesus and the resurrection of Jesus. So no offense to those of you who believe that, but that's not the true story of Easter. And you can look it up yourself and see, okay? And so this is the reason why I think it's also important, you know, goddess symbology. Somebody asked, yes, I do still sell eggs and I do still teach class. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this video. So I will say at the moment, I do have rose quartz eggs, which I just showed. I have sunstone, and I have green aventurine. I have carnelian, okay? I have picture jasper and peach moonstone. And I have amethyst and rainbow moonstone and also obsidian. Okay, that's what I have in stock right now. You can see the eggs I have in stock and the prices if you go to my IG page at Nani Eggs. That's at NANIEGGS, okay? And I will be posting, because I will be having a sale on my classes and my eggs for this Easter holiday. So I'm going to be posting that on my 90 Eggs page tomorrow, so look out for that. Okay, like I need a graphic artist. Sometimes I would post things sooner, but it's like I have to make the flyer. I gotta be my own photographer. I have to be my own graphic artist, and I'm really just a nerd, you know. I'm really just a body scientist. I'm not really all those other things, but to keep up with the social media, I have to do that. So because I haven't posted that stuff yet, you haven't got a chance to do it. It'll be posted tomorrow. And in terms of my classes, I do have online video classes. I have a cosmic egg video class. You guys can also feel free to hit my inbox here, hit my inbox on IG at NaniEggs. You can also email me directly at NaniEggs, but the email address, NaniEggs, has a Z at the end, okay? NANIEGGZ at gmail.com, and I'll write all that below. You can email me there, and I can also send you more info. I do have an online class. I really want to teach in-person classes because, you know, the online class just focuses on the egg work, also breast massage and incorporating the breast along with the egg work is important because our heart is where our breast chakra is, and it's really important to open up the heart and connect the heart with our sacred center. And so it's really centered around that. But what was I gonna say? Somebody asked what my thought is on water birth. These are all good questions. I think water births are good. I'm going to answer. These are all good ideas for future videos too. But it's like, okay, so my in-person class, my sensual strength training class combined 3 components. One was the egg work. 2, it was using dances of the African diaspora that involve hip movements. So dances from Haiti, from Dominican Republic, from the Congo, from Cuba, from Brazil, from Colombia. It could be down south, like dances that involve intense hip movements from the African diaspora, Congo-based dances, which is very different than West African. Because most of our blood supply runs through our hips, and we store trauma in our hips. We store trauma in our bodies, period. This is why shaking and dancing is so good. But we definitely store it in our wombs. And as women, if we don't heal that before we bring life into this world, we can pass those traumas on, okay? And it can come up in childbirth, as I said, right? So that's the other. And then also, when it comes to childbirth, it's important if you have flexibility in your hips and you're able to move your hips and you have that connection, then it's easier also to work the baby out, okay? Same thing is true with the eggs. Working with the eggs is not just about tight vaginal muscles. Oh, my tight, 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 tight. No. It's about having elastic vaginal muscles, elasticity. Meaning if the muscles are this tight and they're stretched out to here, they'll go right back to here again. If something is this tight and it's stretched out to here and it only goes back to here, then it's not elastic. It's loss of elasticity, okay? So the eggs help to maintain elasticity in the vaginal muscles. It also helps women to be able to connect and relax, because in labor, a woman has to surrender and open up and relax. Not like most people, it's natural when they're in pain to tense up and constrict when they're in pain. But that's not what you want to do in labor. You want to relax into it, allow it to open up, okay? And a lot of midwives have told me that, you know, a lot of women don't know the difference between contracting and relaxing in childbirth. So working with the eggs can really help that, okay? Also, it helps women who have painful menstrual cycles, heavy menstrual cycles, but so does the womb massage and getting the womb centered. I have a video where I speak about that, and I'm going to post it below in this YouTube channel. I'm going to try to also post it on the IGs. I recorded it like probably 5 years ago. But again, everything I learned about that, I learned from Pakistani and Digimama, okay? She is the truth. And she has birthed 4 babies, okay? I think like 3 of them are unassisted, okay? 4 babies at home. She's very knowledgeable. So, the eggs also help with, if women who have orgasmic issues, it makes you more sensitive, okay? And if you don't have orgasmic issues, your orgasms will just become stronger. And if you do have orgasmic issues, it'll help you start having orgasms. And, you know, it makes you a woman more sensitive. It increases the blood flow, the nerve supply, the innervation of the vaginal muscles. It also helps to stimulate the Bartholin glands that secrete mucus when we're aroused. This is important because it also maintains the health of our vaginal canals, okay? It also maintains the health. And it helps to prevent infections. And as we age, as a woman ages, the vaginal muscles tend to atrophy, which means they tend to go from being thick and meaty to being thin and dry and cracking easily. And then sex becomes very painful to a woman, and she doesn't want to have sex at all. And the vagina, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's true with the vagina like it is for the rest of the body. And that's what happens. But that can also happen to women after childbirth as well. Because of hormonal things, you get very dry, lose your sex drive. Some women, you know, lose their libido after childbirth for other reasons as well. It's a whole, you know, it's a whole long list of reasons. But the egg helps you to get your mojo back, okay? Maintain the wetness and get your libido, which is very important for your chi and your life force, okay? So the egg is good for women of all ages, okay? Whether you're having sex or not, whether you have sex with men or not. So it's not, you know, if you're a lesbian and you don't even have sex with men, you might be thinking, what do I need it for? No, it's still good for you anyway, because it helps with your health and it helps with your sexual pleasure, whether or not, you know, independent of men. Yes, if you have male lovers, men do notice a difference. I've known many couples over the years where the men already liked having sex with their woman prior to the eggs, but after she started working with the eggs, every man reported how much more amazing it became. Because also, a woman can learn how to have more control. So when we contract our vaginal muscles in different ways, men feel it, okay, and it's pleasurable to them, but it's also pleasurable to us. Because when we orgasm, what happens? Our vaginal muscles contract. So if you just start contracting your muscles on your own, it also builds up sexual energy, okay? And there was one more thing I was going to say. Darn it. Oh, it also helps a woman's vaginal muscles just hug more on something, okay? And that's all it is. I think that's, and I could talk about this for hours, but I just wanted to, give that brief introduction about the eggs to people who are not familiar with it. Like I said, I've been teaching women since 2007. I have lots of videos on YouTube where I talk about it, and I'll try to post a lot of them below on this YouTube. Because I'm doing this on IG, but I'm going to repost it on my YouTube page, and I'm going to try to post a number of the links below so you can check out other videos where I talk about sizes and how to choose them. They also can be drilled and non-drilled. Like this one is drilled and this one is not. The drilled is to put a string through it for easy removal, which is not necessary because it won't get stuck, but some women just for peace of mind want to be able to easily pull it out. Also, the drilled hole is for, the string can also be used for more advanced exercises like vaginal weightlifting. I have videos about vaginal weightlifting as well. So, feel free to check out all those videos and you can learn a lot more. And so, yeah, I just wanted to do this video here just to talk about this really quick. I do think that every woman should be working with them. I think that it's super important. And to any women who are listening to this video who have worked with the eggs, please feel free to share your experiences and your 2 cents. I do have a video class, but I also have a Patreon page, which is Mystical Egg Journeys. I'll post that below, where I'll be posting weekly classes for women, egg classes. But yeah, I can't stress enough, whether or not you plan on having a baby or not, egg work helps, okay? And it's important to, preparing for and recovering from is something that, somebody asked, what are the origins of working with them? Okay. I learned about, and again, I have YouTube videos where I talk about this, but I'll briefly say this. I learned about it from the Taoist practice. In 2005, I learned about it from Taoism, okay? How I actually learned about it originally, there was a woman, why am I forgetting her name right now? Her name escapes me, but she is a Cuban-Jamaican woman who is in the DC area, and she had a belly dancing school, belly dancers of color. And I can't remember her name at the moment. Sunyata Amen, okay? There was a conference in New York City. I was a grad student at Columbia University at the time, and there was a conference on traditional African spiritual practices. And for 3 days, they had different lectures about a bunch of different things dealing with African spirituality. And she was one of the people that was supposed to speak about these eggs. Now, at the time, I knew about Taoist practices for men, ejaculation control and all of that. And I was actually teaching and working with men. So I do work with men as well. I don't talk about men as much, but I do. Because at the time I had men with different issues, erection issues and stuff like that, because they were on hypertension medication, diabetes medication, which can cause erection issues in men. So I came across the Taoist stuff for men first, and it didn't talk about women much. She was supposed to do a workshop on the jade egg. This is in 2005. She didn't show up. So I went and looked on the internet, which the internet barely had anything at the time. But I remember finding a few web pages that had a little bit of information about the jade eggs. And so it made sense to me with my background in exercise science and what I understand about muscle physiology. It made sense. So I got the eggs and started working with it in 2005. So from 2005 to 2007, I worked with it. Started teaching women in 2007. Then I came across Saida, a woman in Hawaii, she wrote a book, Emergence of the Sensual Woman, which I thought was a good book, but that book doesn't talk about pregnancy at all, doesn't talk about childbirth at all. There's a lot of things that I learned, about the eggs, like working with more than one. I started working with 2 and 3, sometimes 4 eggs. I don't do that too much now, but I used to. And at the time, people were only talking about jade, okay? Everybody was talking about jade. I started working with different crystals and stones, and then the woman that I was working with also started doing that. I learned a lot from going to Costa Rica because I thought, Saida said in her book that women shouldn't work with obsidian until they worked with jade for a number of years. And I believed that until I went to Costa Rica and met women in Costa Rica who were working with obsidian. And then I found out about a woman in Mexico. Okay, my Costa Rican students told me about a woman in Mexico who wrote a book on obsidian eggs, okay, and working with obsidian eggs. And I'm sure this woman knew nothing about Taoism. I also had a black woman client in Atlanta who told me she grew up in California, and it was a French woman when she was a little girl who had given her an egg and was trying to teach her about it, okay? And also, so I'm trying to read the comments and talk. Also, darn it. I'm very much into, if you look at my other page, the Renaissance Amazon, you see I'm very much into ancient art, pre-colonial art. I feel like the truth is in the art, okay? And I told you, as a student of dances of the African diaspora, I studied, the diaspora, but Haiti has had the biggest influence on me. I feel like the medicine and Haitian folkloric dance is something that I could speak about for the rest of the day, okay? But I'm just going to say that one of my favorite dances is a dance called Yan Valu. It's a serpent dance that's associated with a deity called Dambala, who's also associated with the egg, And so this egg symbology and the cosmic egg, I don't feel like just belong to the Taoists. Like, there's a lot of different things that I've picked up over the years, and it's too much for me to talk about right now, but it will be in my book that I finally have to get done. So I don't think it's just from there, okay? And I have my reasons and proof for that. But I learned about it first in Taoist tradition. And then over the years, as I learned different things, I started incorporating my own practice, and also from just what I know about the body and muscles and stuff like that, okay? So, yeah. And so my sensual strength training class, so I was saying that one part is the eggs, another part is dances of the diaspora, again, to get women to connect to their hips, which helps with moving sexual energy, kundalini energy. A lot of people talk about kundalini yoga, but kundalini yoga is stagnant. You're just sitting there, not moving your hips. It's way more, if you're trying to move kundalini energy, you need to move and, have flexibility in your hips and let it go, and your spine, okay? Let it go up your spine, not just sitting there being stagnant. No. Okay? And this comes into play with many different things in life. So that was, the third component was teaching women why it's important to strength train, okay? Because I am a strength and conditioning specialist, and which is above a personal trainer. Personal trainers just deal with like base level stuff. And I'm not going to go into a whole thing about what a strength and conditioning coach is because, again, I'll be talking forever. But I do have videos where I talk about that. Strength and conditioning specialist is on a higher level, okay? But as that is briefly said, I will say that it's important for women to strength train. A lot of women think they're afraid of lifting weights, and they think that it's going to make them big and bulky, and that's totally not true. I'm seeing some good comments on this Instagram page. Someone wrote, that makes perfect sense. The island of Hispaniola received the most varied ethnicities during their slave trade. Their sacred medicine is a combination of damn near all of Africa. Yeah, and the Americas. Because Haitian voodoo is not just African. It also has huge native, First Nations, indigenous, Arawak components in it as well. And people who also follow me know I'm very much talking about Afro-Indigenous traditions. And when I say Afro-Indigenous, I'm talking about African-derived and First Nations in the Americas derived, okay? They both have very potent medicine. And the Congo, to me, is where it's really funky. It's like the sacred center for real, okay? And all the popular dances in the diaspora come from the Congo. When I say in the diaspora, I mean in the Americas. Whether it's champeta in Colombia, whether it's rumba in Cuba, whether it's merengue in DR, whether it's bomba in Puerto Rico, New Orleans got Congo Square, okay? It's the Congo. All of these things that I'm saying could be like a whole nother lecture, and I would be talking all day. But these are the things that I teach in my sensual strength training class. And so it was those three components. Like in the strength training, teaching women like how to strength train properly, why it's important, okay? Because a lot of women think, I'm going to look like a man if I no. Strength training is important. For women who are trying to get a bigger booty, they want thicker thighs, you want to gain weight, you want to be thicker, you need to strength train. For the women who feel like, oh, I have too much body fat, I want to speed up my metabolism and burn fat, you need to strength train. For the women who are like, oh, I have bad knees, I got a bad back, you need to strength train. Or if you want to not have bad knees and a bad back and messed up shoulders, you need a strength train. Okay? If you want to maintain your metabolism as you age, you need a strength train. Okay? And I have a whole video about that as well. So that's what my central strength training class is about, those 3 components. I really want to teach another class soon. In New York, I used to teach it for 4 weeks, twice a week. When I would go to other cities, I would teach it on a weekend for like 5 hours, Saturday and Sunday. When I taught in Costa Rica, when I taught retreats, it would be like 4 or 5 days for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours each day. So I would like to, I think in person is so much more effective. But because of COVID, you know, like, also if you follow my work, you know that I'm not terrified of COVID. Oh, sorry, somebody's calling me. I meant to turn my computer off. I apologize for that, messing up the video. But I would like to teach an in-person class. Right now, you know, I'm from New York City, but I live, hold on. I'm from New York City, but I live in Chicago, okay? And I spend a lot of time in DC. So right now for in-person class, if you're in New York City, if you're in Chicago, if you're in DC, or those areas, it could be DC, it could be Baltimore, it could be Philly, because that's also, you know, between New York and DC. If you're in those areas and you're interested in me teaching a class in the upcoming future, please let me know, because I'm definitely down to, but it's just, you know, we can do it outside. But it's just everybody's so afraid of COVID. I think that the in-person class is really important. But I'm going to end this video now because I ordered some food, and I don't know if that's who was calling me or not. And I don't want, you know, so look out for the sales on my other IG page at 90 Eggs. And this video will be posted on my YouTube page, and I'll post other videos below where I talk more in depth about these things. And more videos soon on other topics, okay? Especially as it pertains to women in childbirth, all right? So I hope you all, yes, I've taught in Los Angeles before. And this, someone asked me where I got this from. It's made by a wonderful woman in New Orleans named Julie Banks. She made this. It's actually a yoni and a clitoris symbol, okay? So when people think of the clit, they think of just right here. But the clit is actually internal, and it's not just right here. It's my food. Sorry. Bye, people.
Thank you so much, Sheila. I mean, Queen Aduna, for sharing.
Yes.
Wow, that
Really,
was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the link to that video.
okay. Yeah, it's already in the chat. It
Okay.
is in the chat, and the other video she was saying about the others videos that she has is in that link. So it should be in the chat. Hopefully, I'll put it in again just in case, because Deidre might not be able to see it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that was deep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what was her name again?
Makeda Valletta. I'm actually talking to her now. She said, I just woke up, because I meant to send her a text last night.
Oh.
And I sent it this morning. She said, I just need my coffee. I just need 5 minutes so I can have my coffee. But you know, like I was saying, it's so, you know, our bodies are so connected, you know, everything, every part of them. And I'm sure within our yonis, there's a connection for the heart and all of that, you know, how we're wired. But like we were talking about before, when I was sharing about the spaces to do your exercises, because you can, when I joined her,
so known as
she I didn't have an egg when I first had the classes. And so the positioning that I'm talking about for the spaces that you want to, let me get my eye.
Okay, hold on.
These are the spaces. So this is the yoni. This is the exterior. So when we say the base, I'm talking about position 1 is here at the bottom. And then position 2 is at the top. So imagine behind your belly button, and then position 3 is in between those 2 spaces. So some of the exercises that Makeda shared with us was to, pull up. Now, when you inhale, naturally your body pushes down and out. If you're breathing from the diaphragm, so you want to keep your chest still, but you want to fill your belly with air when you inhale through your nostrils. So you feel, it's like your belly is a balloon. So you want to inhale and fill that belly up. Okay. And naturally your yoni pushes down, the muscles push down and to the base. When you exhale, releasing the air, you squeeze and pull up behind your belly button. So you're going to draw energy from the base up to behind your belly button. Okay, so that's on the exhale. So inhale again, filling the belly with air, hold it, and then pull up. Exhale. Can you feel that happening? Open up, tighten, and pull up. So when we say position 1, you're just going to pulsate at position 1, which is at the base. So just squeeze and release, squeeze and release. That's what we do when we use our 3-letter word. That's where we squeeze. Squeeze and release, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Now you're going to exhale and then inhale and then draw up behind your belly button. Now squeeze there. You should feel your belly button move a little bit. Just pull up, just see it happening. And squeeze at the top, which is position number 2. And then you're going to drop down between the belly button and the root chakra and squeeze there. Okay, so it's 1, squeeze 1, then squeeze 2, and then 3. And this is imagination, because you're not in there, but and you'll feel it. Okay, so position 1, position 2, position 3, and then go back to 1. Position 1, squeeze. Position 2, squeeze at the top. Position 3, in the center. Again, just keep going. 1, and 2, and 3. Okay, now for 4 squeezes, pulsate position 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it all the way up behind the belly button. Squeeze 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop between the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. Are you all doing exercises?
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell.
When I first started, I couldn't tell either.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's so funny. And so once you get the egg and you realize that you can't manipulate, people were saying, "Oh, I can feel." I'm just looking at. I'm like, okay, look. I'm like, okay, because I didn't feel it until I was in my online classes and I sat tilted, and then I began to see that you can manipulate the egg more. And so you may even experience some bliss as you're doing this, and you will suddenly feel yourself being lubricated. You'll feel the moisture, because I'm feeling activated now.
Mama Het, where can we get the egg? Is there a location in
There
Detroit?
are one of my girlfriends obtained another friend's what do you call her? What do you call it? Inventory.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm going to get in contact with her. But there's a place called the Boston Tea Room in Ferndale. And what's the other place has a really nice mystical name, but it is on Ferndale in Berkeley. I have been there once. Maymuna used to use that space. She used to go there a lot.
Okay.
In Berkeley. But I'll get that. But I'm online to get in touch with Kalani. Let me send her this link. Is this the link? Hold on,
Yeah, it's interesting because I have a girlfriend who used them, and I thought she was kind of weird. I'm like, what is she doing this stuff for? Now I understand the value of it. Thank you.
Yeah, it really is, and it helps you have. It just becomes this beautiful relationship with yourself. Like I said, let me see. I'm sending.
Right.
I don't know if this apostrophe parenthesis is gonna work. Shoot, because our link is compromised at the moment. I don't want this. Well, I think that is a part of it. Is it bouncing me in? Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure that no audio. I'm gonna get out. Okay. I and Mama Nev said, Mama, had I sent you a text that said that we're going Monday? I said, oh, I just kept it at Wednesday. I never looked at Monday. I said I wanted to be ready for my mama, so I don't have to go to the thing today. All right, so let's see if she pops in. Okay, let me see now. Let's see, squeeze 120. And then you squeeze the whole section. You can just manipulate the whole area and just squeeze taunt. That's engaging your abs and then release. And you can still do that even though you're breathing from the diaphragm and using that, your belly as a balloon. You can still keep your abs because that's below the stomach area, right? So you can still hold the abs tight and then do the breathing. Still filling that belly with air and then releasing. Okay.
Relate to Kegel exercises. Is this similar or the same thing?
It sort of kind of is. The
Okay.
Kegling is the squeeze and release. And that's another, that's a squeeze and release, but with this one, we're just giving you identifying the different zones that you can manipulate.
Okay.
And when Makeda had us doing our training, she said, now think of your yoni and squeeze north and south. So the front and the back, squeeze front and then squeeze back. Squeeze the front part and then the back part, and then
Okay.
squeeze east and west. So right and left. We'll see if she's coming in. I think she might be. She said okay. I hate to just spring it on her. I've asked so many people to come and join us, and I'm waiting. One lady said, "I don't see how I align with this," and I'm like, "What do you mean you don't?" I have a girlfriend who redid her kitchen. I just, things like that where we're taking control of our spaces and manipulating them, beautifying and making them better. So, and one young lady said, well, I'm not a lady of the Bible, so I'm not, I don't see how I'm aligned. I said, then that means I don't need to be bothered with it because
Right.
first of all, you're a woman before you're a Bible. You're a woman first. You know what I mean? You got these body parts, okay? So, I said, and she's doing a lot of work with fibroids. She's really helping a lot of women, and I appreciate her too. But, I'm not going, I'm not going to go back and forth. So I just, find as I do invite women who I think are very special in my life, and
Yes.
I'm watching them and admiring what they're doing to come and share. You
Yeah.
don't think, and those sometimes people that are doing all this incredible work, they don't see the value in themselves. They saw enough to that they were motivated to do a thing. But I guess because if you look and compare, oh, I'm not Oprah, and I'm not Oprah wasn't Oprah before she did anything. You know what I mean? I mean, she was Oprah before she did anything, and then she did a thing, and now she's, now she's more
Right.
viewed or seen.
Right.
But if you don't open your mouth, a closed mouth won't get fed. That's a part of our home mantra that we have, you
Right.
know. And if somebody thinks enough of you to even invite you,
Right.
and I need to invite somebody else. That's what I'm learning, to invite somebody.
Right.
Because this space is too sacred and too special for people to be second guessing, you know.
True.
Even when Queen asked me to do this, I was like, I couldn't, it wasn't nothing else to come out of my mouth. But yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
If I wanted to say, it wasn't nowhere around, but increasing the knowledge of our vessels.
Yes.
These bodies are perfect in their creation. All we
Yes.
have to do is take care of them.
That's
We've
right.
been
That's
taught, our great grandmothers passed down this. Barbara was telling me how her mother couldn't stand it when they would get sick. Her dad, he would put onions and garlic and all this yucky stuff in a jar and make them drink it. But baby, but they didn't
They
get sick.
sick.
Mama saying it's stinking, but daddy's like, I'm giving this to the babies, because my friend Barbara, her family's from New Orleans, so they're
Okay.
Creole. They're Creole folks.
Okay.
They're coming with the wealth of knowledge.
They are. They are.
And this is how women we got together, what we're doing now in this cipher and talking. This is how we shared what we were doing in our family to share our knowledge.
Yes, yes.
Mama, grandma, when we would go see the family elder and go get your mojo bag to
Right.
ward off energy of people coming to you and putting yuck on you and whatnot. You're gonna have your stones and your
That's right.
your
right.
herbs in
That's
your
right.
satchel that you carry. If you're not doing nobody wrong, won't no spell work on you. It won't even work in. She said she's gonna call in. We got 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes. But she says she's calling in. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
Greetings,
But,
Lolly.
Hey, Lolly. Lolly.
Hey, Rising.
Good. Welcome. So glad to hear you. Yeah. So let's see.
Down that not like next year, but it would be great for us to have a small a gathering.
Yeah.
Take the adjective out of there.
Right.
And it's called Getting to Know You, Getting to Know All About You, but me, getting
Right.
to know me. And because I had this written down that okay, so if she came and did that we learned about that. I don't know. Yeah, that's different. I don't know what Claudette's, what her teaching is, but this,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a little bit different. I don't know if she covers the yoni egg, the eggs and all that kind of stuff, but
right.
And then the different somebody there that does the astrology. And I'm gonna tell you, I really wouldn't mind if it was the Elizabeths.
Yeah, for sure.
So there is okay, so the one that you was talking about where she Rhonda, was that her name?
Yeah, Rhonda.
Right.
Rhonda
So
Bird.
the different things that tell you who you are individually, to have a session like that,
You mean with Adrian with the
right.
human design?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And people who and programs or systems and stuff that help you to understand you yourself.
Yeah.
We had people come in there, and I also I think Mama Evelyn in the group that she was with Danielle, they did, because Sunzi is very
Yes.
she was saying about somebody came in and they assessed the entire group.
Right.
See what that is.
Right.
From our signs.
Yes.
They did all of them, and then they showed. Then he shared. I think it was a guy who shared. Hi.
Yeah. Okay, so you all,
watching
thank you so much. This is Makeda Valletta, my girlfriend from New York, and now she resides in Chicago. So we were talking about the yoni eggs, and we have just a few minutes, Makeda, but I just wanted you to come and give a shout out and just share a bit. I just thought it was so important because you opened up a door for me and, helped me, take a deeper dive into self. And I just felt that that was really important. So we just wanted to share the information today. So if you could just go into the eggs, and we did watch a video. We used our YouTube University resource to see. So
Funny.
go ahead and take it
Well-
away for Vicky.
Well, is there any questions? Because I don't want to repeat something you might have already heard.
Right.
Mhm.
So anybody had any questions? Deetra or Queen or Evelyn? Did you all
Well,
have any-
you inspired me to get an egg. So that's why I was asking Mama Hetheru, where do I get it? So that would be great. So, and I think from what I heard in the past, you should start with a bigger one and go down. Do you start big?
Okay, so it's a good question. Okay, so in terms of where you get it, you can get it a lot of different places. Like, so you probably know that there's a drilled egg and there's an undrilled egg.
Yes.
Some women really have a preference for one or the other. Like, I personally don't care, but I've known a lot of women who don't want drilled eggs. They just don't like the fact that there's a hole in it. And if you don't want a drilled egg, you can really get them from anywhere, because when I say anywhere, I mean, there are different people who sell them. I sell them, but there are other people who sell them. And also, over the years, I used to get them from crystal stores sometimes. Some people don't want to do that, but I have done that before. Like, there's crystal stores that I used to go to. I know I've got one from stores in New Orleans, like just different cities that I'd be in. Sometimes I would experiment and get eggs there, but of course you want to make sure it's a good quality egg. If you want drilled eggs, then you're going to have to get it from, someone who sells drilled eggs. The drilled part, some women really don't want eggs that's not drilled, because when you drill it, you can put a string in it so that you can easily remove it.
Yes.
Even though it won't get stuck in you. It won't get stuck, but some women just mentally, they don't like the thought of having something they can't easily take out.
Okay.
Yeah, the other purpose of the drill is more advanced exercises. There are more advanced exercises that you can do with the drilled egg, but that may not be, so over time, if you want to have both, you can have both, but it's up to you whether you want to start with a drilled one or not. It's not necessary. Then in terms of the size, really, there's no rule about what size you can start with, but I say a medium or a large is better. Maybe even the medium, but it could be either one, because the thing is, the medium egg is harder to feel because it's smaller. But so it makes you tune in. Like, the smaller egg is, the more to make you tune in to feel it. But the larger an egg is, of course, it's going to have that extra weight to it. And you want to work with a variety of sizes, but it doesn't really matter if you start with a large or medium. The smaller eggs, I say, are more advanced, because because when you work with the egg, it doesn't just strengthen the muscles and help you get more control. It helps you to be more sensitive, like you tune in more. So the smaller the egg is, it's a fine what is it, like fine tuning of tuning in. So, like, let's say you're using a medium or large egg, and let's say, you've gotten to a point where, because if you put the egg in and you don't do anything, your muscles will still work. Like, if you walk around with a backpack on, even if you're not thinking about it, your muscles are still working, right? But if you start to do exercises with the egg, like you're trying to push it left and right, you're focusing on pushing it left and right, or maybe you're focusing on try to pull it up and down. Let's say you're doing that, and you can feel the egg now, and you have some sensitivity. Now you can move to a smaller egg, and it helps you. You have the tools to be able to tune in and see if you can feel that egg. So that's the reason why I wouldn't start with a small egg. Not that you can't, but I wouldn't, because you don't have a starting point. It's good to first have an idea of like how to feel it, because it's like when you put a tampon in, you don't feel a tampon when you put it in, and you're not focusing on holding it inside of you. It just, your muscles take it. The egg is the same way. It's with time that you become more sensitive, that you can sense where the egg is at. Most women don't feel it at first, unless it's like large and heavy, but most women don't feel it, and they're surprised by that. So yeah, so those are, I think I answered all your questions. But
Okay, thank you. No, that was good. Thank you.
you're welcome.
First, welcome to Grand Rising.
Thank you.
Yes, so
Thank
glad to see
you,
you.
the powerful Elizabeth. And I wanted to know, okay, about the exercising. Mama Het was sharing that with us, and I was trying to see it. I was looking at it in my eye.
Yeah.
Okay, so the if you did that, what's the size of, now first, is it hanging
The egg or the string?
outside, whatever? If you use a string, is what do you putting another, what are you putting on there? Is it hanging out, or is it just right at the,
No, if you put the string in, it's like a tampon string. So it's hanging out, like, tampon string hangs out, but it's like a lot of times if you have on underwear all day, it's like stuck to you, so you might have to go find the string, but it's hanging outside your body.
oh, so you don't have something else hanging so you can exercise?
Well, you can do that. Okay.
Using the,
No, you can do that. You can do that. So you're saying have something else hanging from the string?
yeah, so when you exercise, I'm not picturing, but I can see if you could just grab the string and go up and down,
No, so okay, so if this is the egg,
moving it around.
first of all, let me tell you something. I love people from Detroit. I love you guys. Oh my God. I do. I really do. But, so you're thinking in advance, right? So there's an advanced stuff that you can do. So like if this is the egg, the string is like hanging. The string is going through the egg and it's hanging, right? So the egg's inside of you. The string is hanging out like a tampon. But you can attach something to the bottom of the string, right? So you can attach another egg or various objects. I've attached various things that you can tie to the bottom of the string, and then what you do, like you internally, you're squeezing the egg as tightly as you can with your vaginal muscles, and you can stand up. Let's say the egg's inside of you and the thing is hanging out, and you would just stand and just swing your hips back and forth. And so, like, let's say there's another egg hanging from the string. Now this is swinging back and forth, right? And all you're focusing on doing is squeezing the egg and holding on to it while you're swinging your hips back and forth. And that's going to make it a little bit more challenging to hold on to. Another thing you can do with the string, if the egg's inside of you and you have the string hanging out, you can take your vaginal muscles and squeeze the egg as tightly as you can. And either you or your partner can gently tug on the string. It's called tug of love. You or your partner can gently tug on the string, like pulling it out, not yanking out aggressively, but pulling it out with some pressure while you are squeezing with your vaginal muscles as tightly as you can, hold on to it. So what that does is that helps to strengthen the vaginal muscles as it lengthens it. So you can do stuff like that. And all these exercises build up a lot of energy. So you can do that with the string.
Oh, that'd give my husband something to do.
Yeah, well, it will. And then afterwards you'll have all this sexual energy and he'll be happy, you'll be happy, and it'll be great.
Okay, that's a good thing right there. Yeah. Let me ask you this. About sex. Does that it's not interfering?
The egg isn't. I don't know about having sex with the egg with a string in it. I've never, but having the egg in particular, no.
Just the egg. Okay.
No. And Het knows there's been so many stories about women having sex with the egg, because in theory, you think that it'll be in the way and you think that the man will feel it. 95% of the time, the man doesn't even feel the egg. 95% of the time. There are a few times when men feel it and either they're indifferent to it or it's bothering them. That's rare, but that does happen. So if and I don't know, I tend to think, now this is not 100%, this is not 100%, but I tend to think that maybe, I'm not going to say it's not 100%, but sometimes I think maybe if the man's having a problem with it, maybe there's a sign of something else. Because I'm telling you, most men don't feel the egg. They don't. And when you tell a man, like if you're with somebody that didn't know and you tell them that you have an egg inside, most people are like, what? Like, but you feel like you have to say something in case they do feel it, but most people don't feel it. And you usually don't either. But I've heard couples say, women who are in like long-term relationships say that like when they had sex with the egg in, they felt closer to their partner. It made their sex more in sync. Like, but everyone has different experiences, so I don't want to say that and say that's going to happen to you. And that's why like these circles, when I used to teach classes, and this is making me want to teach again, I always had a group of women and everybody would talk about their experiences. And then you would see that everyone doesn't have the same experience. Like it's very mystical. Yeah. But most of the time men don't feel the egg and it's fine. Yeah. I've had sex with like 3 eggs inside and like it wasn't a problem. Because the vaginal muscles have all these you know, folds and ridges and stuff. So yeah.
Three,
I just wanted to
three,
share.
what size the egg? 1 second. Okay. So what size eggs did you have? 3 in? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And I don't do that anymore, but there was a time in my life when I did, like all the time. And it's kind of like, and I really wouldn't, because okay, so all the muscles in your body, as you get stronger, you have to up, you know, the stimulus. That's the whole point of vaginal weightlifting, because like you put the added weight. Have you had all those in you before? How many have you used?
Not 3. I've not done 3. I've only done 2.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. I don't think I would do 3 anymore. Like I think I was just in a time where I was experimenting and obsessed with eggs, but 2, yeah, 2 is good too. So what did you want to share, Het?
I was just sharing that when the eggs are inside, that they do this when you have 2, and that sends a whole nother energy, not only just from the crystals, but from from them touching. That sends a whole nother zzz around in the body. Mama Evelyn, would you your question here?
Okay.
It's a safe space.
You are cracking me up, I swear. Yeah, I want to tell you something. Sheena came back from a trip when she was younger with my daughter, who I was braiding her hair. She came back from a trip at her father's and brought me an egg. And I thought, oh, it's pretty. Just now realized what cat egg it was. She didn't know, and I didn't know. So it was just a cute little egg sitting on my altar. But what my question was, the video that we saw of you, the necklace you were sharing with us, where did you get those?
Was it pink?
Yes.
Yes.
A friend of mine in New Orleans made that. I could give you her. She's on Instagram. She's on Facebook. I don't know if she has the website, but she's definitely on Instagram and Facebook. I could connect you with her. She's amazing.
Yes, please.
She makes all kinds of, she makes unpierced nipple jewelry. She makes waist stuff. She makes jewelry for every part of the body. And that one I asked her to design that based on, you know, like I gave her the idea for it, but she uses a lot of different kinds of crystals and she does amazing work. Her name is Julie.
That's Julie? Yeah.
Julie Mims. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Julie
and
made
because
that.
of Makeda, I met her when I just happened to be in New Orleans. Where were we? We were doing a Home Depot in New Orleans, and Makeda just happened to be there. She was like, "Hey, I'm taking classes at Tulane University." So I got to go to that university and meet all this new sister circle of friends down there. So that started a whole new relationship. But Julie makes the unpierced nipple jewelry where they're made of copper and they fit around your nipple, and you don't have to get pierced to wear them. So
okay.
And she became like a nippleologist, because I remember all these women had different things going on with the nipples, and so she would change it depending on what was going on with your nipples, so you could wear it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I'm a jewelry maker, so that's what really.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're a jewelry maker. Okay. Yeah. No, I definitely I don't make jewelry, but yeah, Julie, she made it. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm gonna have her on the show. I'm gonna call my New Orleans sisters. I bet you they'll come through.
Yeah. No, you should. I miss them. Actually, you should.
Thank you for being present for us for the quickie. Real quick.
You know. I always got you. I always got you. It's you. I'm always gonna be there, and I love Detroit people. So yeah.
So the Elizabeths, I think the Elizabeths might be ready for a session, a strength training session, because this group will show up. My other sisters, I don't know, but this group I know will show up.
It's time. I feel like it's time to teach it again. Because it's been, what is this, 2023? It's been like, I don't know, like maybe 9 years since I've and there's like a whole new, because remember like 9-10 years ago, it almost seemed like everybody knew. Well, not everybody, but now it's kind of, People don't talk about it. And see, the thing is that when I started teaching in 2007. It was because there were people back then who had eggs, but I would meet people who had one. They heard about it, they would get it, they would never use it, or they would use it twice and be like, "Well, I didn't feel anything," you know. And me being a fitness instructor, I know how important consistency is. Like if you do something once or twice, like people go to the gym once or twice and they don't reach their goals, and they're like, "Oh, it's not working," but you have to keep doing it, you know. And so that's the reason why, you know, I started. And then it's like the other muscles in the body too. So my class combined black dance, the black dance that involves the hips. So Afro-Caribbean, any black dance that involves hip movements to get women to connect to the hips too. And then exercises for the entire body, because it's important to strength train everywhere, you know.
And properly strength train, because that was one of the other things about our posture and how we're moving our bodies is also important. And I remember that being a part of your teaching.
Yeah. But all that affects our hormones and our sex drive, because when you move your hips, that increases your estrogen. That's increasing your desire for sex. But when you strength train, that increases your testosterone, which also makes you, for men and women, makes you more proactive. You know, so they both affect your hormones and your sex drive and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Makeda, you're gonna do a breakout session. I think you should break on out to Detroit, because the Elizabeths are ready. This group of dynamic sisters. Queen is the one whose baby this is, about coming and talking and being about your passion. And so she's gathered the rest of us, and she's been doing this show. What is a year and what, 2 months now? We're going into August, so it's gonna be a year and 2 months.
A year and 3 months.
A year and 3.
Yeah.
So that's how this was. So
when you do a session, when you do like when you do a session with us, is it a one day or a weekend? How do you generally?
So yeah, no, I usually did weekends. I usually did a weekend where it was like 4 or 5 hours one day and 4 or 5 hours the next day. When I was in New York, I used to do there were times I did twice a week for like 4 weeks when I was in New York. But when I was not in New York, it would be a weekend, like 4 or 5 hours on both days, because you know you get to go through a lot, and then the next day, usually like every time you do it, you feel more. So yeah, so it was usually a weekend, and it's not hard for me to come to Detroit now, because now I have a car and it's just 4 hours from Chicago. So yeah, I could easily come to Detroit.
Well, let's create that sooner than later.
Okay. Yeah.
I asked my husband the other day, because we're going to live for, I'm 70, just turned 70, and my husband's 6 years younger than me. But I told him, I said, are you, I said, are you sure you want to be with me for another 50 years?
50 years, and I had to.
Yeah,
I don't want nobody else and stuff. I said, well, okay, so we gotta say, because I'm gonna work on this body right here, and you work on your body, which might mean, you know, a little less beer and stuff.
Pineapple juice.
And me, I, you know, more, you know, just dealing with the exercising and having had a hysterectomy. I still have one of the ovaries, but and then what my body has gone through from him having a baby and stuff like that. Okay, so I think she said no, because she was already going through the menopause kind of stuff, and then each year it gets less and less happening, and so then, like you said, if you're not using, then she just starts drying up. Okay, and things that I have used for lubrication doesn't work. You start and then it dries up. Then you're going in, air is coming in, and then it's like, you know what? And so in my mind, it's like that he can only go so far, you know. And then there's that wall that feels like when you was a virgin, you know. And then you're not trying to get some more juice in there. Everything's going good now. Well, now you got to pull out so I can put more liquid.
Right.
I
Mhm.
said, you know, and then me being stiff in the legs area, in the hips, like what you say and stuff. I dance, I play the tambourine, and I'm, you know, I mean, I dance. I
Mhm.
really dance and hit and
Yes.
all over my body and stuff. That's probably why I be sore sometimes. So I don't want to wait for months for a conference. I want us to put something together let's get started now. And Mama Het, you been here and knowing more about it because I've never heard as much as that as when you started talking about it.
Mhm.
I want to get it on. Okay, so I need to get this started.
We definitely can. And you know what? It can be started even on a Zoom call. Like it doesn't like the only thing that, you know, to the dancing, you know, you kind of need to be in person. I mean, you can kind of dance on Zoom, but the dancing and the overall body exercises is better in person. But the egg work can start like we could be doing the egg work right here on the Zoom call.
Okay.
So that's, and then the thing is, so I'm glad you mentioned what you mentioned, because the egg helps to increase lubrication as well. So because it stimulates your Bartholin gland, so it helps with those issues, and your hormones, so it helps with that. But also, what was the other thing I was going to say? I don't know if you've ever tried cannabis infused coconut oil as a lubricant,
Mm.
but you
That's
can
not-
maybe.
We
What did
have
you
it.
say, Het?
Heru makes it. We've got about 5. We might have about 8 jars here right
Oh
now.
wow, okay.
Okay.
So the one that he makes, does it have THC in it?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say the
Well,
THC.
yeah. He decarboxylated the leaves. He had to put,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, you
yeah.
have to cook them. Yeah,
But
decarboxylated.
he's using regular cannabis leaves, not
Yeah.
but have
I think
THC in it.
I think that's more CBD. It's not THC, but you saying THC infused, so that means you want the
Well,
zoom zing.
I said cannabis infused, but which can be a different. When something is infused with cannabis, it can be high CBD, high THC, a mixture. But the reason why I ask is because I think that THC is more effective. Like
Okay.
THC should be present. Now,
Uh-huh.
can somebody do it with just CBD, pure CBD oil, possibly, but I think that adding the THC to it makes it more effective. So if
Okay.
he's using regular cannabis leaves that you can smoke, then I would think it would have THC in it.
So, so she, I need to get her high, huh?
You,
So
you
she
could
can
think of it
relax.
like that, but
So she can
You're so
relax, you
funny.
know.
You're so, you're so funny. You could think of it like that. I had never thought of it like that, but you could think of it like that. But it's something about the THC that increases the blood flow to the area. So when you use that, so the blood flow to the area then affects the wetness and the arousal and all of that. And there are people that use, because there's a company that sells, this company Foria Wellness, and I think they were selling like a CBD lube, and women claim that it worked, but when I used one that was high in THC versus one that was high in CBD, I felt like the THC one was more effective.
That's probably more feminine. Oh, Lolly is our expert, our cannabis expert here,
Oh
Miss
yeah,
Lolly, our
right.
singer. She just got her degree. Woo woo.
Wait,
She
what
might be
degree did Lolly get?
Speak up,
Lolly.
Lolly.
Here she come. Here she come.
Okay, I'm about to run into this bank, but I got a medical I can't talk. A master's of science in medical cannabis science and therapeutics.
I'm in that program now.
Oh,
You just graduated from that program?
Yeah, in May.
Congrats. I graduate next May in 2024.
Awesome.
That's what's up, from the University of Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. Okay.
Look at
So
God. Look.
that's really what's up. Do you have anything you want to share then about that? What I was saying?
At the moment, no.
Okay.
But definitely more conversations in the future, yes.
But have you ever used cannabis oil for like sexually, or have you ever used it in that way?
No.
Okay.
Not in a lubricant form, no.
Okay.
Because you all young. Okay, y'all young people
No.
still got the juice going.
Well, you know what? It's for that, and it's also it's that, but
Right.
but independent of that, it just makes you more sensitive. It makes you feel more, because sometimes, women will be with men that a lot of men move too fast and they don't know how to like slow down and warm your body up,
Yeah.
and so that helps in situations like that, because it gets a woman's body more receptive, and like just more receptive, and because when we get aroused, the blood rushes to our genitals. But if if a woman is not turned on, sometimes you're with a man and he's turned on, but you're not. And so he's ready to go in, but you're not even in that place yet. Because with men, when blood rushes to their genitals, we can see it. They get an erection. For us, it's not so obvious, but it's the same thing. So
Right.
the cannabis oil helps to increase the blood flow there. So even if you don't have a wetness issue, it's still going to help you be more aroused, make you feel more, make your orgasms more intense. And one thing you can experiment with is putting it on your partner's penis, but according to a textbook, they say that doesn't have the same effect on men. But to me, that didn't sound right, because I'm like, men and women have like similar tissues in that area.
Right.
But in my experience, some men, it does make them also more sensitive and make the sex more intense. And then it's going inside of you. So now that's getting inside of you too. But then there are other men, and I tend to find that men who are having erection issues, they seem like, I don't know if it helps them. I don't know. It's kind of like independent research, but you can put it on like your male partner, and before he goes inside of you, and that makes it more intense. Have you experimented with that, Het? You want to say something?
No, but definitely with the coconut oil. You know me, I love me some coconut oil, honey.
Yeah. Coconut oil in itself is so antimicrobial and antiviral. I mean, so much. Yeah.
Like a liquid condom.
It is.
It's
funny.
Well, ladies, it's 10,
Yeah, it's
18,
just what'd you say, Mama?
and 18. Okay, and so yes, keep
Yeah,
going.
because and one of the other things that was so amazing, once Makeda had taught me about the egg and everything, so I had been using them for a while. And one time we got ready to have sex, and my yoni closed up, baby. Baba couldn't even get. It was like it was on lockdown, like knocking on the door. I was like, wow, I got the power for real, for real. But it was, I mean, learning to use your muscles for your, and that might be helpful if someone had a situation that wasn't favorable, and you put the belt on and ain't no happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the combination of the two is a good combination. So like with you, Sheila, like if you get cannabis oil, I would just put it over the egg before I put it inside of me, because I just feel like it gives added benefits. It's a good
Yeah,
combination.
the THC is the feminine part. I mean, the one that we smoke is the feminine part of the. Is it the feminine or the masculine? Wait a minute. It's the feminine part of the plant or the masculine? Wait a minute.
It's feminine.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Wow. So yeah, and you know what? I'm tripping because my sister is gone right now. I would say I'm coming to get everybody. I will go pick y'all up, and we would go to my sister's right now. We got the house. Oh my God! Remember, I got my dates mixed up. They're gone now. Oh my gosh! I'll pick everybody.
Your
up
sister
right now.
in Indiana?
Yeah, she's in Puerto Rico right now. I thought she was going the end of the month, and I had it all wrong. Her husband was like, "Girl, we're not going nowhere till August 1st." I was like, "How did I get that wrong?" Anyway,
August 1st. That's my birthday.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. Oh, Makeda. Well, this your happy pop-up happy birthday party. My bad.
It's okay.
I really look forward to I'm gonna check out your other videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can go ahead and set the Zoom meeting up and make it happen. And you said you are selling eggs, because I wasn't sure if you were selling again.
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
I should have a website, but I don't. But I have an IG page. Naughty Eggs.
Okay.
Let me see. I can put it in. I'll put it in the thing. But my IG page, or I could send you a list of the eggs that I have too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. We're all most of us are on IG, and we have a WhatsApp. So what I'll do is I'll put that link in, and then they can go ahead and order if they so see fit. And
That sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Because
want to get my
remember-
daughter one.
Because when Sister Deidre, am I saying? Hope I'm saying your name right.
Yes.
Yes.
When she asked where to get it from, like I remember when this is in 2010, I went to Costa Rica to teach. There was a woman in Costa Rica who's my Facebook friend, and she wanted to bring me there, and she organized a group of Costa Rican women, and she wanted me to bring eggs because back then I wasn't selling eggs. That's how I started selling them, because the women in Costa Rica, they couldn't get them, and they were like, "We need you to bring them." So that's when I started trying to find sources for eggs and stuff like that. And I remember there was a bunch of those women had went and got an obsidian egg. And obsidian is made from volcanic glass. And up to that point, from what I was reading, obsidian was more advanced. Like there was a woman in Hawaii who wrote a book, and she talked about jade and obsidian. And she said that obsidian was like more advanced, and like, you know, you should be working with a jade egg for years before you work with obsidian. So I believe that. So these women came with these obsidian eggs because they're in Costa Rica. That's what was there. And none of them had any bad experiences. A lot of them had very profound experiences. They were having all kinds of dreams and all kinds of things. And so then I came back to Brooklyn, taught a workshop, and there was an older woman. I don't know, she might have been like 60, I don't know, somewhere around there. And she started working with an obsidian egg, and she didn't have anything negative happen. So what I then began to see over the years of working with women is like different women gravitate towards different things. And it's never been wrong. Like it's never been wrong. Like then some people could say, oh, if you're pregnant, you shouldn't work with obsidian. But I've seen pregnant women do that too. And they were fine, you know, and they didn't always get the eggs from me. Because I mean, like there was a time when I wasn't really selling eggs, and then I was, and you know, so that's basically what I'm saying. Like, you know, like you might resonate with something. You might travel somewhere and resonate with something. What is it? Right now, if I went someplace and found a different stone, let's say I was in Dominican Republic and they have Larimar. If I found a Larimar egg, I would probably practice with it just because I like to experiment with different crystals. But your own intuition and what you resonate with says a lot. Which one is that? Is that moonstone?
I don't know.
Calcite.
I don't know. It's pink and it's got some flecks of metallic in it.
Oh, that's pink.
A little. Well, it's a light mauve. It's
It
orange.
looks
No,
like
it's orange, and it's got some metallic flakes in it.
It looks like it could be moonstone. But where'd you get that from?
I don't know. It's been so long. I know this one is quartz.
Yeah, clear quartz. That's a good one. Yes.
And the black one that you can't see through, this one you can't. So that's not obsidian.
That looks like obsidian.
But I thought you could see. I thought you could see through the obsidian. One of them. What's the other black one?
No, you can't see through it. You can see when I had blue and green obsidian, that you could kind of see through. But the black obsidian, no. It's like a mirror.
Right. And what's the other black one? There's two black obsidian.
Onyx.
I think this one is onyx.
Yeah, that could be onyx. Yeah, onyx as well.
You can have and not see through, but I mean you can see it. The black onyx is like straight, you know, nothing. It's just
Okay. Yeah, you have onyx.
Might be onyx.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that obsidian is really important one because that's the one they made all the tools out of back in the day.
Yeah.
Your arrowheads and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that one is also, I think I wore a black obsidian and I was having these things and Tanae said, well, what are you wearing? What stones are you working with? She said, take that, you don't wear that because that one's like a speaker. So if you wear one that's really strong and you wear the obsidian, is that the one that will magnify whatever you're dealing with? The obsidian, is that the one that becomes like a speaker?
Obsidian cuts negative energy and like negative ties, but it can you said like a speaker, like it can magnify. Can it magnify? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So she was like, girl, you got too much going on. Take one of them stones out.
This is so funny.
Too much going on.
Yeah.
You got
Thank you
too
so
much
much,
going on.
Makeda, for coming on. I really appreciate you being up and ready. I know how dedicated and the love you have for the work for us for our the mystical egg. So I'm
Thank you
glad
so
you were just open and got your. I saw you got your coffee. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And
Yes.
we together this session really soon, especially the egg, so we can go ahead and get that going. I think that relationship is really important. And
Yeah, I'm totally
because
flexible.
this
Yeah.
extra,
I'm flexible, and you know what? Like starting here, it's like then if in person, it doesn't need to be you can get right to the point because when I teach in person, usually I'm spending a couple hours answering these questions and explaining.
right?
Well, you guys already have that. You don't even need to start with that. You can just get right to the work.
Okay.
much.
So yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They
Well,
Right.
yeah, I need to get my daughter one. Her birthday is the 10th. She'll
Mm,
be 40. She
your
will be
daughter?
40.
Okay, so she's like the same age as me. I just turned 42, so we're like close in age.
Oh,
She's on the
wow.
10th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so she's a Leo too. Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So
All right, so we can make this connection happen. I've put her IG page, and you also have her YouTube. I put it in the WhatsApp, lady, so it's already there. And get in touch with Makeda, and let's get these eggs, and then we can schedule this date for our yoni, excuse me, our mystical egg session.
yeah, for
And
sure.
no, I'm doing that.
And if you want to add, if you want, we can also add other things in it, like castor oil packs.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you guys know about castor oil packs or yoni steaming. Have you done that before, Het?
we have. I've done the. I made my own yoni
I've
steam, baby. I
done
did it
yoni
in my
steaming
room.
once.
That was enlightening, but I have not done the castor oil packs. I do castor oil wraps if I have challenges with bones and blood flow. But yeah, I'd like to investigate that as well.
Or I can just explain it to you. Castor oil packs are helpful if you're dealing with certain
Okay.
things.
Well,
Yeah.
we have an open Wednesday next Wednesday if you'd like to come on next Wednesday from
Okay.
8 to
Yeah. You guys do every Wednesday from 8 to 10?
we're every day
Monday
from 8
through
to 10. But
Friday.
Wisdom Wednesday is the day that I present, and we'd love to have you as a guest officially for the
Okay.
time,
Yes.
for next Wednesday if we could schedule and, let me know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down. I'm around. I can do next Wednesday.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, that's great. Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
It's from
Yeah.
8 to
Okay.
10.
So it's
So okay, and so are we going to, I know we still all just need to talk, but do some work online and then come together?
I think that sounds good.
Because you see it.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I know that there's always a way more you can get done. Theoretically, you can get a lot done on the Zoom and stuff, but then that and even go do this and go do that, but for us to come together, I would really like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that sounds good. And that actually sounds like it could be more powerful than everybody just coming together and knowing nothing and just starting from scratch. Because if you start beforehand, then when we come together, people already have a starting place, they have things to share, like so, and you're kind of already like all the basic questions you don't need the answers to because you've already started. So I think that actually is a good idea actually.
Yeah.
Because back then when I was teaching, there was no Zoom, so that wasn't an option. But yeah.
right.
Mhm.
And then Queen has a space. I don't know if this is something we could do at the
Oh, absolutely.
Lizzie's Conversation Kitchen. I
Mhm.
think this would be a good space being the kitchen because the kitchen is the womb space of the house, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be
set
great.
that up.
All right.
Right. Okay. So we end our session.
Happy. She's happy.
I love it. That's what's up.
Thank you, Marquita.
You're welcome.
Yes,
You're welcome.
absolutely. All right.
Okay.
Well, Thursday is Transformation Thursday. So
Yes.
we're Monday through Friday on each day, different hosts and the different topics that they come. It's like we're in a mansion. Everybody has their rooms. Time for breakfast. Whoever's assigned to the kitchen, prepare the meal. When we come down, it might be cereal. We come down, it might be the full breakfast. And so we just come in and whatever's being served, and then after that you know, then it's like, okay, I gotta go. I'm gonna do this, and I gotta go, and now, yeah, girl, I'm going back to sleep. You know, like that. So, Monday through Friday, we are in a year and 3 months, a year and a quarter. Wow.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very organic, and I was telling somebody else how there's a struggle with and another project that I'm doing, and I said something ain't right. See, because now I have the example or whatever that right word is of Elizabeth. I said it's so organic that I won't touch it. If it's the wrong person, somehow they don't show up or they don't stay long or whatever. And I know this is all holy ground.
Divine.
A safe space to share and an accepting, you know, and to be. So give yourself a big hug. Oh, hug yourself. Oh, and hug the world, because you know they need it. We all need that love. And then sprinkle all the goodness and all the chocolate and the caramel, and you know stuff. Y'all have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you. I'll
Bye.
call you Makeda.
Okay.
Wow, this was awesome.